why I have not been going live. First of all, I've been studying my music and I'm back in the gym, you guys. Woo! I am getting up at 4:45 in the morning. I'm going to bed like at 9 o'clock at night now. This is going to be going on for about a year in my life, you guys. I'm going to try to do this whole year long, go to the gym like I used to before the pandemic and get my momentum to do all this cardio, like crazy cardio, crazy cardio, cardio, cardio. So the reason why I'm not been talking about Sharp is because I just feel that right now it's not good to be talking about people that are low energy, people that are low energy, people who don't work out, people who don't do anything for their health. Sharp is a very extremely mindless person, and I'm gonna have to be getting up every morning at like 4:45 in the morning. Going to the gym, taking my espresso shots at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the day, my espresso shots, eating my very healthy food every day. And I just don't want to give an unhealthy person like Sharp any energy right now. I don't feel like it's best to give a person like that any energy. Sharp is, he's probably going to be dead at 50. Sharp, that's just what it is. He's a very unhealthy individual. He's a very mindless person. He's extremely mindless. And I just don't feel like right now that talking about Sharp fits like my life right now. Like, I don't need to be putting in energy to somebody who has such horrid and negative energy. Almighty, he was saying about Sharp on Chuck Community clips that, Sharp has a gift. He says a whole lot and says absolutely nothing because he's very mindless. That's why Sharp, he's a person that sits up and smokes 1,000 cigarettes a month. He doesn't have any women around him. He probably could do the trick job. He could probably do a job with the trick himself. He acts like he wants to be a woman anyway. He's probably out here doing stuff with men himself. He wants to be so damn bad, But I don't have time to talk about him anymore because I gotta go to Vegas, number one. I'm coming to Vegas in January. Again, I'm coming there. I have a homegirl of mine that I've been knowing since 2012 who is still in the porn industry that may actually meet up with me while I'm out there. So we'll see how that goes. But again, with me changing my lifestyle and like getting on the road to, getting my body back right and being at the gym all the time and cutting my eating habits to this no carb stuff and being extremely healthy again. I've even started drinking coconut water every day. The CO2 from Long Beach, California. Shout out to Long Beach, California. I used to live in Van Nuys, so that's not too far from Long Beach, California. I've started doing that again, drinking that stuff, and I've got to build up my low sugar intake again. I got to build up like being real sensitive to sugar again, because when you eat at Whole Foods every day for 5 or 6 years, you taste that Sprite at McDonald's. Like, you can taste all the sugar in that crap. Like, for real. That is real. When you go months and months and years and you're drinking stuff like CO2, you're drinking stuff like Noria, what was the green juice? The Nakeds and the Norias, and you're taking in like, espresso with little to no sugar, and you're drinking the sweet cocoa waters. When you're drinking stuff like that for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if you drink something from McDonald's, you taste every bit of sugar in there. That it tastes like crap. It really do. It tastes like liquid sugar. That stuff do. So I'm building all that back up. I'm building my taste buds back up to like a Whole Foods level. I'm building it back up to that sort of level. Right now, I don't drink anything sugary. I'm not eating sugar at all too much right now. I had a piece of the Dubai chocolate this past weekend, but I just had like one little piece of it, But I'm building my taste buds back up. I'm building my tolerance in the gym back up. And yeah, by the time the holidays roll around for 2026, I'm probably going to be looking about 90 pounds slimmer. So, I don't want to be sitting up talking about somebody who has such a horrible lifestyle. You know, this is me bouncing back to the hard lifestyle I used to have of being in the gym 5 days a week and eating things that's like I said, that Whole Foods palate, having that Whole Foods palate again. And I don't need to be sitting on the internet talking about somebody who is stupid, somebody who is dumb, somebody who is actively killing themselves with each cigarette they smoke, with each cheap liquor cheap liquor, sip of cheap liquor they drizzle down every day. Like, I don't need to be sitting up talking about somebody as low and as crazy as Sharp. Like, I don't have time for that. I need to focus and zoom in. Hi, thanks, come on in. I'm just telling the people my lifestyle change that I'm currently undergoing. I am currently losing weight. I'm currently tuning my taste buds up to the Whole Foods level again. Right now, I've lost about 25 pounds. I've lost about 25 pounds since, I would say, the end of July, the beginning of August. So I'm really, really zooming in, you guys, on my health and fitness right now. And I don't want to be talking about somebody who is so unfit, someone who does not care to, do anything with themselves. Sharp, like I said, he'll probably be dead at 50. He'll probably be dead at 51 years old. Sharp. He doesn't care about his lifestyle. He doesn't care about his well-being, his health. He doesn't think about that at all. He smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day. He's been smoking like that since he was 17. You know, he wants to take the place of a woman so bad. And, one thing about us women, we have to be like a lady and think like a man. And I'm coming back into my health and fitness right now. And I can't sit up and speak about a person like Sharp anymore. That's somebody who's not healthy. He's not fit. He has dyke titties. He just, he's not looking good. If he were to go to a doctor right now, they would probably tell him, you're 38 years old, Mr. Swanger, but on the inside, you're already a 51, 52-year-old man. He's really done himself a banged up job. He does have a talent for speaking and saying nothing. Because he's very, very mindless. And with me getting up at 4:45 in the morning and me not getting to bed till 9 o'clock and me having to work all day and practice my piano and start my day with my gym, I don't even eat breakfast right now. I just drink espresso. So when I come from the gym, I'm going to be drinking my espresso, which will further take my appetite for the day. I'm on like a low to no carb type of diet. The only cheese I'm eating right now is Parmigiano Reggiano. And if it doesn't say that on that little pie, I can't get it because I'm doing like a lactose-free type of thing right now is what I'm doing too. So I can have the Parmigiano Reggiano as long as it's the real one. I'm just on some real health stuff right now, you guys. And I can't bring any Sharp material right now because the Sharp one is a very unhealthy person. He is a man that wants to be, I guess Academics was right when he said that Sharp was a bum. Because any man that feels like everybody else has to move in order for him to move the piece of chess on the board, I'm sorry, you must want to be a bitch. You must want to be one, So, and a man like that is naturally a bum. So, I can't do it. I can't talk about someone like that anymore while I'm in this transition of getting back to a super fit and super healthy lifestyle. I have waters every day. I'm drinking plenty of water every day. I'm doing the coconut water. Now, I used to really drink coconut water when I was like, right now I'm 31 years old. I used to really drink coconut water from like the age of 19 to like the age of 27. That's why my skin's so clear now, because I have years of drinking coconut water inside of me. And I'm getting back to that, like doing that every day. And I'm just on the health journey, man. I can't sit up and speak about somebody who is that unhealthy, like mentally and physically. Sharp, he is a very extremely unhealthy person. I feel sorry for the people that watch him because you must be if you watch Sharp all the time, you must be a very unhealthy person mentally and physically. You must be very, very, very unhealthy. And I will be popping in there to Vegas. I will be popping in to Vegas in 2026 in January. Also probably again in April. And I'll probably pop in for the last quarter of 2026. I'm going to pop in there a few times. So who knows? I'm also going to pop on here sometime and let you guys see my progress as far as the way I look. Because as you can see, me being 25 pounds down, it's not going to make that big of a difference. Losing another 25 and then losing another 20, like it's going to start to, you're going to start to see like a really huge difference, And I just don't, I can't afford to be talking about somebody who is just unhealthy. Sharp, he's very, very unhealthy. You know, at his rate, he'll be dead at 50. Like, at the rate he's going, he'll be dead at 50. You know, I don't want to talk about somebody like that, somebody who is just, they don't care about their self. They want to steer others down the wrong road while they jump off a cliff into fire themselves. Like, I don't want to sit up and talk about somebody like that. You know, I said that in the chat one time, on Back on Fig. They were talking about something. I put in there in chat, and Heather, she read it. I said, Sharp is going to have tubes coming out of his nose and his mouth at the age of 50. He's going to be in the hospital bed with tubes all running down his nose and his mouth, and needles coming out of his arm. You know, I used to work in the hospital. I currently can go back and work in the hospital right now. I still have my CNA. But I choose to do what I'm doing right now, which is I'm working from the house right now for a corporation, for a big firm, and I'm making some decent money. So, and then my ex-husband pays my rent. So, but, you know, I am in a situation right now where I'm really getting my health back in order. You know, people talking about pandemic bodies. Sweetheart, we have been over the pandemic for going on 2 years now. It's time to get your ass in the gym and do what you need to do. You really do. You know, you can't blame it on the pandemic anymore. You know, that was 2019 and 2020. You know, and a little bit of 2021. But right now, we're in 2025. It is total reset. People need to be back to their normal weight. I'm expecting everybody to be back to their normal weight by the time November of 2026 come. You need to be now lost them 100 pounds. I know I'm a be there. I'm gonna be there. For real. And the first thing I'm doing is cutting off talking about people like Sharp. People who don't give two F's about their health. And Sharp, he does not care anything about health. You know, he doesn't have a health. He's very mindless. You know, that matches up with Almighty, what he was saying about Sharp Thomas. He said so much and he said nothing because he's a mindless person. Sharp is very mindless. He smokes mindlessly. He drinks mindlessly. You know, he gambles mindlessly. You know, I don't want to be sitting there giving out that energy and receiving energy of mindlessness. I can't do that right now in this militant state of food and workout that I'm currently in. I'm walking into a militant state about this again that I used to be in. And I can't be sitting up making content about somebody who's mindless, somebody like Sharp, who's extremely freaking mindless. And that man sits up and proves on camera how mindless he is. I mean, just a mindless person. If he was my husband, I'd probably kill his mindless ass. He's just mindless. You know, I can't talk about someone like that while I'm doing something that requires the utmost of mindfulness. When you are working out every day and eating right every day and trying to see 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pound weight loss, you have to be mindful. You cannot be mindless. So I don't want to tune in or pump out any content, you know, of someone who's mindless. I can't do that. I cannot do that right now. I probably would be doing some gym content for you guys. I'm gonna actually do that. So be looking, you know, for that. I know Lush, he was doing his run, but I would actually be running. I wouldn't be walking. I would actually be running. So yeah, tune in for that. Look for that, and you guys tune in if you catch me on there. And you guys have a wonderful Tuesday night. I'm gonna get off of here because I gotta go back to the house right now. I have to do some things for a minute. I gotta clean up, straighten up. Make some last minute emails and get ready for bed because I got to be in bed at like 9 o'clock. So yeah, you guys have a great evening. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my